I'm going to teach you how to do symbols and tweening in Flash. So the first thing is to create in Flash a new project. Just make a new ActionScript 3. And if you've got any piece of artwork, let's say I've got this piece of artwork, if you select the artwork, I could double click this to select it or just select it, you can go modify, convert to symbol, or choose F8. And this gives this little box and it lets you name this, basically lets you name this piece of artwork. So I'm going to call this square. And there are three types of symbols. There are graphics, buttons, and movie clips. Everything that we're going to do in here is going to be graphics. Movie clips are named symbols that you can use when you're creating projects that are interactive, that you have to call up in ActionScript or code, because you want to say start this little symbol or start this movie and stop this movie. Buttons are for creating buttons with rollovers, so it gives you different states, an upstate, an overstate, and a downstate. And graphics are just for artwork and for animations, like what we're talking about for us. So I'm going to click graphic and name it square and click OK. Then it effectively groups it. We looked at grouping before, but it puts it in the library with a name. This is called square. So now that I've created square here, I can get rid of it, throw it away. And I could go to this square here and I could drag it into my movie. And I could drag it in a lot of places. These are called instances of the square. So this is my symbol, and this is an instance of the square. I can't change the color of it. If I select it and try to change the color of it, it won't change the color. And if I click this, it won't change the color because I'm not inside the symbol. The symbol is just an object that's now in my movie. If I double click it, now I'm not in scene 1 anymore. I'm inside square. And I'm inside square, in this case, within the context of the movie. So within square, I could change the color, and then watch what happens to all the other ones. Okay. They all change. Because this square is the same as all these other squares. If I double click here, I'm back into scene 1. So once again, double clicking on a symbol takes you into it. Double clicking out of it takes you back to the scene. And only by being in it do you have editing capability over it. So I could edit it, and if I edit it like this, they're all going to change. Now a symbol need not only just be a piece of artwork like this. A symbol can also be a little animation. So I'm going to take this square. I'll delete all these. I can also double click here and go into square. So now I'm in square, but not in the context of my movie. I'm just in this symbol called square, right? To go back to my movie, I'm here. I've got nothing in my movie. And to show you what that means, I could double click square and name it square. And this layer is called square inside square, or square layer. We'll call it red shape. It's not a square anymore. So I'm in the square symbol, but I'm in this red shape layer. In my scene, I'm still in layer 1. I don't have anything in my movie. I could bring this in my movie if I want. So this has its own timeline, which means that I could take this thing and I could go, like let's say it was the dreidel example that we were just talking about. I could make this thing a square like this here, and then I could click F6. Oh, I don't have my my thing selected, so I'll just option drag. I can't do F6 because my settings aren't right. And I could tweak this to a different shape. I'm not going to do a full-out dreidel, but let's say I just have this shape and this shape. So right now these two shapes are here. If I click play, it's going to just play once. But I could go back into scene 1 and I could drag in my square and click F5 down here, and it's going to loop through that symbol again and again. And it's looping through it because in my properties, when I click on it, take my arrow, it's set to looping, options loop. I could tell it to just play it once, in which case it's going to play it once and then stay there. Or I could have it loop. Or play only a single frame and tell it which frame I want it to play. So if this was your dreidel, you could take this dreidel and you can have it spinning. Inside here I can maybe make another layer and have these other little shapes. Click F7 or can't click F7. Oh, there, it worked for F7. So I can make, let's go back into here and see how it plays. It's a pretty bad dreidel. I would spend a little bit more time on it. It's not supposed to be a dreidel. But it's just showing you the relationship between a symbol. And if I go back into the library here, this symbol, let's say I don't like these layers. I want to have some other kind of animation happening. Maybe I want to make it rain. So I can make little dots like this. And click F7 and make some more. F7. F7. Doing it real quick. I'm going to go back to scene 1. And it's looping through that. And I can actually bring that in a bunch of times. Now I got rain. Or something like rain.
And rain isn't green.
Huh?
Rain is not green.
This rain is green. I can prove it. There you go. Green rain. All right, so I'm gonna stop here just to let you go in and create symbols and start playing with symbols, and I'll deal with tweening in the next little lesson.